You know, the funny thing is, most of my victims die, but I like the monster.
Do you have a number in your head that you think? Did you ever sit back and think about it?
It's sad to say I couldn't count that high. They start to get jumbled. I would say there's well over 80.
You think that many?
Well over.
This is Richard Cottingham, one of the most spine-chilling murderers to ever exist. From a very young age, Cottingham became obsessed with bondage and violent pornography, a fascination that would eventually lead to something truly monstrous. He was convicted of 6 murders that took place in New York and 12 more in New Jersey, with crimes dating back to 1967. His brutal actions earned him the names Torso Killer and Times Square Ripper, as some of his victims were horrifically mutilated. This is his interrogation video, and the officers are in for some gut-wrenching confessions.
It's too close to dinner. It would be a shame.
No, don't eat. You're wrong with that. Hold on. So explain to me. Just describe it for me again. All right. So we're talking about those. When I drove you up there last time, did anything look familiar?
No. It's altogether different.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
It was all farmland there. Let me see. When we drove up the last time, I always went...
So start from where you're talking...
Let me do it my way.
Hold on, just so I get it clear. The street that the ice rink was on.
Let me explain to you. This way you know everything I know about this.
Okay.
Every time I went there, I came up the street going to that street. I used to always come the same way up through Rivervale, right up Rivervale Road, and then I'd wind up coming down this road here. This was the field. This time I came, and it looked kind of wet and everything, so I used to just drive right off the road, drive back in, and turn the car around and face this way. So I always knew, even if a cop car came by and seen me from here, by the time he got back here, I was gone into the woods. So I never brought my car there. So this time, I went up to here, and I went around this way. And my intention was to see if this was drier. And then, now on the other side, just like this, right from here, that was all swamp or woods, whatever.
During the interrogation, Cottingham was disturbingly well aware of all his plans and whereabouts, even years after committing the murders and being convicted for them. This is a classic sign of a serial killer, meticulous, calculating, and always in control. Even more chilling was his enthusiasm and almost casual demeanor while recounting these horrific acts, as if taking lives was just another part of his daily routine.
And when I went in about 40 or 50 feet, the car stopped. I got stuck in the mud. Mm-hmm. So we stayed there about 10, 15 minutes. I was talking, I was trying to decide what to do. The cop car came up this way. And then he went by, and then I seen him back up. So I knew he spotted the car in there. So I got out of the car with her, and I ran into the woods. I didn't even know where I was going. Now there was dogs in his house started barking, either from me or the cop car or whatever. So that's what dread. So now I said, let me go over that way. So I stopped here, and she started screaming. She heard the cop car, and she's screaming. The cops were up there, they couldn't see where the screaming was coming from, but they were by the empty car. We're back here. I could see the cops because they had flashlights and everything, but they couldn't see me, but they could hear her screaming. So I panicked, and I stabbed her. I tried to shut her up, and then I took off, and I ran behind this house, and between these two houses, because the dogs were backing from this house, And I came back across here. Now the cops were out here, flashlights then. I ran right, they didn't see me. And I ran this way, so they're thinking I'm still running into the woods. I came back the other way. And when I ran from that second house, I ran this, I would say straight line, maybe it's, a little curved or anything, I almost fell over the well.
All right, and let me just back you. This street here, that's the street that it's the Montvale ice skating rink that used to be on that street.
Down here further.
All right, so that's down here for. But you're sure you weren't over the New York line yet?
No, because my uncle lives up the other way. So I knew the area. Then when I ran, like I said, I almost tripped over, had a big piece of corrugated metal over it. And then I ran out here, and I got back on this road.
Let me backtrack a minute. So just for the girl so you're positive you abducted that girl from the Bergen Mall? That's the mall that you kept...
Well, I can't say that.
Okay.
It was either that, I'm 90% sure it was the Bergen Mall, but it could have been the Garden State Mall.
Okay. But it's one of the malls...
Oh, one of those two.
Okay.
Guaranteed, 100%. It was about, it was dark. I would say it was probably about 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30.
And give me just approximate year. When did you move to Lodi?
Move from Lodi?
No, to Lodi. So at this point, did you still live in Rivervale?
No, I used to live in Little Ferry.
Oh, right, okay.
I used to live in Little Ferry from 1970 to like 73, I think.
Okay.
And then I moved to Lodi.
Prior to 70, where were you living?
Riverville.
Right, that's what I thought. So when this happened, though, were you living in Rivervale or Little Ferry?
I don't remember.
It's bizarre how Cottingham could clearly recall every detail of his murders. Yet, he couldn't remember anything else clearly. Another major hurdle during the interrogation was the significant changes to the area since the murders. Roads had been rerouted, many diners had closed down, and new roads had been built. These changes made it even more challenging to piece together the details of Cottingham's crimes.
No, it definitely was. Then it would have to be after 1970, the early 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. No, because what I did was, see, okay, there's a diner on Route 4. What I did was I parked my car, it's a 24-hour diner. That's where I parked my car. I've done this a couple of times. So my car would be, if I didn't come back for a day, there's always people coming and going. Then I would go in, the diner had a...
I use the next page here. It's not much of a diner.
Yes. Route 4, I wouldn't be surprised if the diner, there's Forest Avenue go right down to Route 4?
Mm-hmm. There used to be a diner on the corner of Forest Avenue and Route 4.
But the building's still there, but it's not a diner.
And opposite that diner, if you go across the highway this way...
Was there a walkway?
Yeah.
Yes.
Goes over to the
Bergen Mall.
Right.
Guaranteed the Bergen Mall. Because that's what I did. I parked my car there and I walked across the thing into the mall. Then I walked around the mall.
One of the difficulties of working on older cases is how the scene changes over time. Buildings can be enlarged or torn down completely. New roads can cut through what was once an empty field, and waterways can shift or dry up completely.
So, and how did you get her? How did you end up getting her back in her car? Anything that helps me? How did you get her? How did you end up getting her back in her car? Anything that helps me?
No, she was getting into a car and I just pushed my way in.
Okay.
I pushed my way in, I handcuffed her, I tied her up, and then we just drove up to Montvale.
Okay, so then once you're up this way, and you're solid, you're rock solid, this is Montvale?
I'm rock, okay, the only thing I can say, I'm rock solid about this whole thing. 90% sure that's the intersection. I can't believe there's any other intersection.
You just drew like a little street going this way. There is a particular street that's still there where this comes up. As you go across Chestnut Ridge Road, there's a 45-degree angle going this way. and then the street continues up this way, going into Upper Saddle River and Route 17.
So they didn't have to actually come to a stop.
Go back so I can research this a little better. You mentioned you stabbed her. Do you know for sure
Yeah.
how many times you stabbed her or anything like that?
One time,
Okay.
right in the face.
Oh, it was definitely in the face.
Because she was screaming, I just panicked.
Okay.
I was just trying to shut her.
It's important to note at this point that this horrific serial killer took pleasure in inflicting as much pain as possible on his victims. Stabbing and mutilating were among his absolute favorite methods, driven by a twisted desire to prolong their suffering.
At that point, I don't even know if she might have even been loose. I might have untied her. Because we were in the car for about 10, 15 minutes before that, because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't back out, I couldn't go forward.
Right.
So I didn't know what to, I didn't want to curl her hair, that, I wouldn't have done that. So, and if the cop car didn't come by, I don't know what I would have done. In fact, I was thinking both of us get out and push the car. I can tell you, she was dressed, and she had a suit on. She had like a suit jacket and a tie.
A tie?
Yeah, a tie.
About how old is she?
Early 20s, I would say.
Okay.
Dark hair.
You love dark hair.
The funny thing is, most of my victims are dark, but I like blonde stuff. In the beginning, I wanted to find a place to drop the body. But see, I always like to drop them near the side of the street so I can be found there easy. And most of them, sign over the thing. Almost all mine were. But in the beginning, I didn't think that way. But then I figured, I didn't want these people rotting, So I got a little sentimental. I said, if you drop them near the street, somebody will find them in a day or two. But I walked, I might have just got out to take a leak or something. But I walked back. You could walk from this field. This field was all solid. There was no water, no wood, no swamp. But when you walk back in here, after you got about 40, 50 feet, it turned to swamp. And then I said, hey, this is a good spot. And then I remember the 3 girls were dropped in there, and then I started thinking about them rotting there. I said, nah, that's why I started dropping them by the side of the streets.
So you only used that well for 3 bodies.
Just 3.
This would have been the 4th one, but she got away.
I don't know if I was going to put her in there. Because after those 3 were in there, I went back there many times, but I never put nobody else in there.
Okay.
I don't know if it just looked different to me that time. I thought I might get stuck, that's why I went around the other way. I would have went back, I don't know if I would have dropped her in the well as the 4th one or not. But I brought quite a few others after that I didn't, after that 3 I never went back to that well.
But you would go back to this field.
Oh, then yeah.
And then you would just go dump the body somewhere else.
Right.
Okay. The three girls that are in the well, any ideas to help with those? Like, do you remember them at all?
No.
Where they came from, how they were killed, anything?
There was a hooker that I picked up in Little Ferry. There was a hooker bar there in Little Ferry I used to go into. And I'm pretty sure. And one was a waitress. I remember she was a waitress.
From where?
And the other girl could be a blonde from Atlantic City, but I'm not sure. That's what I say. I'm mixed up over. Sometimes it was one after the other, and then sometimes for 6 months I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What year is the first? Do you think? Do you have it in your head, or you have no idea?
Well, I can knock it down to 1 or 2 years.
What do you think? How far back?
Most of Cottingham's victims were sex workers who unknowingly agreed to meet him in desolate areas, unaware that it would be the last meeting of their lives. The interrogation had already revealed shocking details, but nothing could have prepared the officers for the even more disturbing revelations that were about to unfold.
Yeah. Do you have a number in your head that you think? Did you ever sit back and think about it?
It's sad to say I couldn't count that high. They start to get jumbled. I would say it's well over 80.
You think that many?
Well over. I've done some in Florida, Connecticut, a lot in New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. My whole thing was not to make a pattern, which I never did. And never to try to kill them the exact same way or to, leave a signature. I wasn't stupid, and other than that one time in Hackensack where just luck, I would have been caught there.
Right.
I was never even close to getting caught. But a lot of runaways. See, a lot of the girls were hitchhikers, runaways.
There was a lot of hitchhikers back then too.
Oh, everybody hitchhiked. Every day going to work, I used to get more rides. Let's see, that was the thing with me. I wasn't a serial killer. No,
You just told me you think you killed over 80. That fits the definition pretty well.
No, it doesn't.
But I know what you said, because you've told me in the past. There's been many more that you let go.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I didn't go out to kill somebody. Most anyone I killed was when I would be somehow connected to them, and I didn't want to get caught. It was more than just not getting caught. If the girl wasn't dangerous to me, I never went out to kill. That's why I said I'm not really like a standard serial killer. I didn't get no enjoyment out of someone, and that's the truth. Never had no enjoyment. It was very hard.
So what was it for? Was it more rape? Control? Tying up?
No, it was the game. It was being able to get away with it. The stalking. To be able to do it was like the perfect murder every time. And even a lot of times it was controlled. But I mean, a lot of times we didn't even have sex.
It's rather ironic how Cottingham didn't see himself as a serial killer, because in his mind, he didn't enjoy the act of killing itself. Instead, he claimed to relish the thrill of getting away with it. This twisted justification reveals that even after all these years, he remains in denial of his true nature and the horrifying reality of his actions.
See, when I was doing the hookers, the hardest thing in the world is to be the hooker. And I mean, be the payer. Right. The out hustle, because they are sharp. You don't understand that because you never was in the... If you would have seen New York City hookers in the 60s, they were sharp. And they would never do anything, ever, until you paid them first. I mean, it was like a religion. But I would get them so greedy by showing so much money. I would show them a wad like $1,000, $1,200. Their eyes would go crazy. And I always appeared innocent, naive, green. I played that act. Like I didn't know what I was doing, I acted afraid around them, we're gonna get caught and all this stuff. So in their mind, they're gonna rob me. And it was the game to get, most times we went out drinking, I'd get them drinking, get them drunk, get them in a room, have all the sex, and what, never paid them. And that was the majority of the thing, to beat them out of their money, because they were going to try to beat me out of it.
Richard went on to describe his murderous exploits with a sense of pride, as if his horrifying actions were achievements worth boasting about. The more he spoke, the more it became clear that he viewed his crimes as something to be admired. But suddenly, out of the blue, Cottingham realized he had been talking too much, giving away far more information than he intended while boasting about his crimes. The shift in his demeanor was instant.
I can tell you one thing. If they have, I can tell you the last meal. the table, it's there's stomach contents with the pizza.
You want to eat pizza there?
No, not there. Later on, but we stopped and we got some pizza about 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I think in Hackensack. But that's where we went. We went for pizza later. So she should have pizza in her stomach.
And then where'd you go?
Now I'm telling you too much. We haven't made no deal yet.
We ain't
You got me talking.
formalized anything.
You got me talking.
Nothing you didn't tell me on the car ride back to Trenton.
I don't remember that.
I gotta show you my notes. Back then I had a BlackBerry. While Jimmy McMorrow was driving, you were in the back seat talking. I was emailing myself on my BlackBerry. So where did you end up taking her though after pizza? Where did you end up actually killing her?
For now, I'm going to leave that. We got to still work out a deal, and we got to work.
I understand.
Before I start doing all this.
Well, there's no Miranda, there's no nothing like we talked about.
I know,
So
right?
I want to see if it matches what I have upstairs in my notes.
My memory has faded a lot.
You remember her though.
I remember Sherry Apple. That's how I call it.
I had never heard of Sherry Appleby until you told me.
I never knew.
I never heard of the show Roswell until you told me.
The funny thing is the show came out 10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
I think it was in the 90s the show came out. See, I used to always fuck around with a knife with them. You know, that's why I always put the little marks on them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'd stab never stab them like, but just puncture them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be possible, but it wouldn't have been like a 5-inch stab wound or anything like that. I would remember that. You know, most of the details I dropped this body off at road mark so on the Jersey Turnpike.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up and you'll find a body was dropped there. But now, for me to tell you what girl it was, I can't remember.
Cottingham's confirmed killings led to 9 convictions and 8 additional confessions under non-prosecution agreements, condemning him to multiple life sentences in New Jersey prisons. To date, this interrogation video remains one of the most haunting interrogation moments ever. But this is just the beginning of more disturbing revelations and insane moments captured on video from the interrogation room, just like the one up next. Number 2. Gavin Smith. This 16-year-old may seem like an ordinary teenager, but beneath the surface lies a ruthless killer who took the lives of not 1, but 4 members of his family with calculated brutality. And as if these crimes weren't horrible enough, he was on FaceTime the whole time, talking to his girlfriend while butchering his victims. In this interrogation, he's about to reveal the chilling details of his actions and what compelled him to do them.
First of all, who all lives in your house? How old are you? You're 16?
16.
What's your date of birth?
5/17/04.
5/17/05?
No, 04.
04? Okay. And if I say something that's wrong, you're not wrong for correcting me, okay?
Alright.
Right. So, who all lives at the house with you?
My mom, my stepdad, my baby brother, and my younger brother.
Okay, what are all their names?
Gage is the youngest. Well, not the youngest, younger brother. Jameson's the baby. Dan is the stepdad, and mom is the Lisa.
Okay.
All ISA. I can't pronounce hers right.
Your mom's name's what?
Lisa with the R.
Risa?
Yeah,
Risa?
I can't pronounce.
R-I-S-A?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. So how old are your brothers?
11, 3, Gage is 11, and Jameson is 3.
Jameson is 3? That's your, okay. And are they your 2?
Brothers.
They're your biological brothers? They're not like your half-brothers or step-brothers or anything like that?
Yeah, they're by different dads.
Okay, but they're all 3 of you, all your mom's kids?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So when did stepdad come into the picture? When did he?
Well, when I started 6th grade. Began in 6th grade.
Okay. When you began 6th grade, when your stepdad
abused me and all that.
When did he start, and when did the abuse start?
Well, it started this April.
This past April?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was going on?
Well, we had a lot of family problems. Like, my aunt, she has cancer down in her area and on like a normal cancer, yeah. Except it's a very well kind of one, and we've been just dealing with it a lot. And my grandmother passed away in 2013, and Dan started blaming me for her death and all that, saying I was the one who gave it to her, and which you can't give her cancer.
Right.
And it's just been bothering me a lot.
I understand. Does he mean to your brothers too?
No, it's only me.
Why is that?
I wish I knew. Because I take care of James all the time. Like, he calls me daddy, which is a bad thing, since I'm his oldest brother.
Okay. Now, is your real dad? Is he around?
I actually don't know where he is. I actually never met him.
You never met your real dad?
I wanted, but I never met him.
Okay. What about your mom? How you and your mom get on?
Not real. I don't talk to her ever.
You don't?
No.
Okay. What about your little brothers?
No, I usually just talk to James and make him all happy. But Gage, I don't ever talk to him.
Gage is the 11-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jameson's the 3-year-old?
Yes, sir.
Before the murders took place, Gavin had been staying with his girlfriend for a few days. He claimed she was struggling with issues involving her mother and needed assistance with her schoolwork.
How do you all communicate?
Talking? Do you mean through social media?
Yeah, on social
We
media.
usually talk through Instagram and Skype.
Skype?
Mostly Skype. That's how we kicked it off, and on Snapchat. Then we just went to Skype and Instagram.
Okay. You talk to her on Facebook?
I don't really like Facebook.
Huh?
I don't really like Facebook.
Okay. What's your Snapchat name?
Hold on. It's been so long since I've been in that account. Demon Child. Something. If I know, I'll tell you. I just don't remember it.
Okay.
From the very beginning, Gavin's body language was showing signs of nervousness and anxiety, as if he was hiding something. He even lied about not using FaceTime, but soon every chilling detail would come to light.
What about your Instagram name?
Shadow. It's just wild names. It's 1987 after Shadow Panther.
Shadow Panther 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Facebook?
I mean, I used to, but I deleted that account.
Okay.
Like, it's gone.
When did you do that?
I got that in April, but then some person hacked into it, and another one tried to blackmail me, and I just deleted the account.
Okay. What about cell phone? You have a cell phone?
No, so.
You don't have a cell phone?
No, because last time I had a cell phone, Dan smashed it.
Dan?
Yeah, after he found out I was telling him back of what's been going on.
Okay. So Gavin, here's the thing. We said we have investigators up there at your house, okay?
Yes, sir.
And we talked to you up there and said some of your family members are deceased, okay? You know what that means? They're dead, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence in this case. I think you mentioned where up the road there that you watch a lot of these shows and you see how a lot of this stuff goes. So you know what we can do as cops to try to figure out how things happen, right?
Yes, sir.
So obviously, with something serious like this, with a bunch of
I understand your point.
dead people in a house, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're gone, and we find you at your girlfriend's house. We find your girlfriend and talk to your girlfriend, and your girlfriend's, she's coming off on everything, okay? She's telling us everything that you've told her about what happened at your house, okay?
Yes, sir.
So what we're wanting is to get the truth from you about what happened at your house and how your family ended up dead, okay?
Yes, sir.
We want the truth from you, okay?
Well, after I told you the abuse and all that, a couple of days ago, before all this happened I didn't know of. Me and my mom was cooking, and I told her, well, I tried to open up to her, and she just said I faked it all because I'm currently depressed.
Faked all what?
Saying I fake cut myself, which I haven't cut myself yet, for a couple months.
Okay.
And you can't fake cutting yourself.
Right.
And she said I was faking all this, and I was just wanting attention. And Dan overhauled it, and he helped me with that.
Dan overheard it?
Yeah, and now that night he helped me with that.
How did he hurt you?
He hit me down now.
Down where? Your private area?
Yeah, and he punched me right, he hit me right in the dick when he got me in the shoulder.
Okay. Now, how did he do that one time, more than one time?
He done it a lot of times.
Okay.
According to Gavin, his stepfather had a habit of physically hurting him, often landing punches on his private parts and stomach. This wasn't the first time his stepfather had hit him. The abuse had been going on for a while.
What happened after that?
I went to bed and I just fell asleep crying in pain.
Okay.
And then the next day, Thursday, I asked my mom, can I go to Rebecca's, hang out with her, help her what she's been going through and all that. She said, sure, yeah, you can go as long as you do school. And I left that day, and I haven't seen him since.
Okay.
Because I know for a fact my mom, she talked to me about it. She has a couple people that wants to kill her. But God knows reasons, I don't know why. Because she never did anything wrong.
Well, Gavin, what we're getting at is we talked to Rebecca, and you told Rebecca everything you did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Rebecca has told one of our detectives what you told her. So we know what happened.
Yes.
And what I want you to do, I just want you to be honest with us, okay? About what you did, what happened to your family, okay? And this is important that we understand why people do things, why you would do something like this, okay? Because we understand, we kind of see the picture, but we need to understand from your point of view, from your words, from your mindset, what was going on that caused you to do those things, okay? And you need to tell us what you did, okay?
Yeah. Because Dan has been trying to kill me the past few days.
Okay.
Like he cut me right there.
Okay.
With a knife.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been just trying to kill me wherever he can.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to sleep well until I got to my girlfriend's. I've been just sleeping with her. She's been helping with everything.
Okay. Well, you told your girlfriend that you killed your family, okay?
I don't regret it.
And you regret it?
No.
Well, you need to tell us what you did and why you did it. That's what we want to know, okay?
That day, that morning, Dan, he put his gun to my head.
Okay.
And tried to make me do what it's gay. What he tried to make me do. He tried to make me suck him.
Dan did?
Yeah, because Mom wouldn't do it anymore.
Huh?
I said because Mom wouldn't do it anymore.
What? Mom wouldn't do it anymore?
Yeah, suck him, over that. And he tried to do that, and I lost it. And he had all that day.
You didn't eat it all that day? Well, tell us what happened when you lost it.
I accidentally shot him.
Huh?
I accidentally shot him.
You accidentally shot him?
All of them.
All of them? How did you accidentally shoot him, buddy?
I didn't realize what I was doing.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, I wasn't thinking straight. And then I accidentally grabbed that gun and I pulled the trigger.
Okay. Who'd you shoot first?
Dan.
Huh?
Dan.
Okay. You shot Dan first? It's okay, buddy. We're going to work through this, okay? So you shot Dan first. Where did you shoot Dan?
In the head.
In the head?
I regret killing him.
Okay.
I never meant for that to happen.
What happened after that?
I smacked him on the head after.
You shot who on the head after?
Engaged and Jay.
Mom, then Gage, then Jameson.
Shot them.
Were they asleep or?
Asleep.
Yeah.
And I got done with that, Gage, I walked Gemma, my dog, and I came back and Gage was trying to kill Jay. He put the knife to his James's during trying to slit, and I shot Gage one in the head.
Why was he doing that?
Because Jameson wouldn't shut up. He was screaming, crying.
And Dan? Your mom's name's Risa, right?
Yes.
They were in bed? Were they asleep when you shot them?
Yeah.
Okay. Why'd you do that?
I lost it. I wasn't thinking straight.
Okay. I thought you said whenever you lost it, Dan had tried to make you suck him.
Yeah, that was before all that happened.
Okay.
It was that morning he tried to make me suck him.
Okay, okay.
This was a crucial moment in the interrogation. The officers had just caught Gavin in a lie. Earlier, he had claimed that his stepfather had attempted an absolutely horrific act that drove him to madness. But now he was saying he had been asleep with his mom during that time. When the cops confronted him about this glaring discrepancy, Gavin quickly jumped to another alternative explanation. This revelation cast doubt on everything Gavin had said so far.
The dresser.
Whose dresser?
Dad and Mom's dresser.
Okay. What kind of gun was it?
A 40.
Huh?
40.
A 40? 40 caliber?
Mm-hmm. A 22 40. I don't know what. It's a 40 caliber.
Okay. What kind of, are we talking like a big gun, a handgun?
It's a handgun.
Okay. So I call that a pistol. You know what a pistol is?
Yeah.
Okay. What color is it?
Black. I mean, I play Call of Duty, but I don't know that much.
Okay. So like we carry Springfields, they have Glocks and...
It's a Glock.
Are you sure it's a Glock?
Yeah, it looks like a Smith & Wesson, but it also looks like a Glock.
Okay.
I don't know.
But it's a pistol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you load the gun or was it already?
It was already loaded.
Did you have to rack the gun? Like,
no, it was already...
There's already one in there?
Yeah.
Whose gun is it?
Dan's.
Dan's. Does he always keep it in the dresser there? Okay.
I was really good at punch.
I understand. So you shot Mom and Dan in the bed.
Yes.
Where was everybody else when you shot them?
Gage before I shot Gage, he went into their room, and I shot him right there.
Okay.
And I had to kill Jay because Gage slit his throat right here.
Gage slit his throat?
And not his own throat, but he slit James's throat right there.
Why did Gage slit James' throat?
Because he kept on screaming. James kept on screaming, he won't calm down.
Was Gage with you when you did all this, or did he see all this?
He didn't see any of it.
Then why would he slit?
He held it. He held the gunshots, but Jameson started screaming real loud, like he wouldn't calm down, and Gage couldn't take it, and he put a knife to Jameson's gun and tried to slit it, and I shot Gage right there.
This was yet another lie, perhaps a desperate attempt by Gavin to justify his horrific actions and ease his own conscience for butchering Jameson, a 3-year-old toddler, in cold blood.
Did you shoot Gage?
Head.
Okay, where in the house were you when you shot him?
In no room. In no room.
In whose room?
Mom and Dad's.
Okay. Was he sitting, standing, laying
Standing.
when you shot him? When you shot Gage?
Yes.
And Mom and Dan were laying in bed? Mm-hmm. What about Jameson? Where was Jameson when you shot him?
He was in his own room. Mine in his room.
Okay. Why'd you shoot Jameson?
Because he was bleeding from right here. Like, you can't save someone if you slit someone's throat.
Okay.
I didn't like to, but I didn't like seeing him in pain.
Okay. Did you cut Jameson's throat?
No, Gage did, before I shot Gage. I promised I'll Gage since day one.
Well, where's your room in this house?
Same one Jameson's room is.
Okay. How was Jameson when you shot him? What was he doing?
Standing up.
He was standing?
He was grabbing his throat, trying to because he was screaming in pain.
Okay.
I just couldn't deal with it.
You couldn't deal with it?
I'm saying I couldn't deal with him screaming like that in pain.
Okay. I'm sorry, buddy. I can't hear very good, so I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you're telling me, okay? So what did you do with the gun after? Where's the gun?
I put it back.
You put it back?
In the dresser.
It's in the dresser? Mm-hmm. What were you wearing?
This.
You were wearing those clothes?
Yeah, I had jeans on there, but they had a big whip in it and I didn't wear.
You had a big what in?
A big whip.
Big rip?
Yeah, for
Oh, like on the knee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't wear because they had a bunch of holes in it.
Okay, were you wearing those shoes?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about the knife?
It was a kitchen knife. Mm-hmm. It wasn't way that sharp. It was a dull knife, but you could still cut something with a dull knife.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Gavin. So with the knife, so we have detectives that are up at your house right now collecting everything. You said you watch those shows. We're up the road there. You watch those shows, you know we're going to do the DNA testing and all that on there.
Yes, sir.
If your DNA is going to be on the handle of that knife,
yes, sir.
That's something we need to know. I just want to make sure we're getting the truth from you, okay?
Yeah, after I killed Gage, I tucked the knife and I put it back. I put it on the shelf in the hallway.
Okay. I don't think I don't think Gage cut Jameson's throat. I think you did.
Well, it was after I shot Gage shot the knife. I picked up the knife and I put it on the hallway shelf.
And what I think, the reason I think that is because I think that that's what you feel the most bad about, what you did. I mean, I understand. I think you probably feel bad about all of it.
I felt very bad for Kim and Jameson too.
But I think that's probably the thing that's got you the most tore up over all this, is that you killed that baby.
That's it.
And I don't think that Gage, the story, everything's making sense, but the part where you're saying that Gage cut Jameson's throat and then you shot Jameson while he was standing, that doesn't make sense.
No, because Jameson was standing. He was right beside my bed when I shot him.
I understand. I understand you probably feel bad about all this. But we just don't want. We just want to make sure we fill in the whole complete picture. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Gavin's anxiety was now through the roof. His lies were crumbling, and the officers could see right through to his dark soul.
Why? What did you get mixed up about?
The knife and the knife part.
Okay. Well, tell us about that.
After I killed Gage, I had a knife in my hands, but I couldn't do it. So I put the knife on the shelf and I shot Jay.
Okay.
Because he's been trying to kill me constantly.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I sent back our photos of bruises. Like, I had a big giant bruise that big from Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And it was swelled up so bad, and Dan used to hit me in the back all the time and all that.
Mm-hmm. Just
for fun, because he would giggle. And my back would lock up on I could barely move.
Okay.
And Mom didn't even do anything about it. But she saw Dan abuse me, and Dan has punched me. He punched me right there. And I had a black eye, and he hit me again on the other side. I had 2 other black eyes.
Okay. Has CPS ever been to your house? You know who CPS is? What CPS?
Child Protective Service. No, but I've been trying to get a hold of them, but I can't.
Okay. Did anybody at the school ever notice any of this stuff?
It happened when all this COVID, I had to stay home kind of deal.
Okay. Did the police ever get called to your house for anything?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Gage was in it too. He would help Dan hunt me. Like Gage would hit me too, and all that.
Well, why'd you kill Jameson?
Because no one would take care of him. Because, like I said, I've been taking care of babies since day one. He's been calling me daddy.
Okay.
Because she's been trying to get rid of me.
What do you mean get rid of it?
Giant. They have been, Mom, she's been trying to get me in jail and all that. Because I went away because of the abuse.
Bogus explanations and excuse after excuse. While some of his claims might have held a grain of truth, there was no denying that Gavin was mentally disturbed. The cops knew they had to push harder to uncover the real story.
It was on messages.
What kind of messages?
Google.
Huh?
Google.
Google?
Google.
How does that work out?
Duo. Google Duo.
Huh?
Google Duo.
Google Duo? Okay.
Oh, Google Meet. It's one of those where you can text and video chat at the same time.
Okay. Do you have like an account for that, or how does that work?
I do have an account for it.
You do? What's your account name for it?
Well, it's more like an email.
Okay, what's your email?
Graham Wayford, and it's my birth date, X, Rebecca's birth date. 2004, X, 2003.
Okay, Green Reaper?
Graham Wayford.
Grim Reaper.
Yes.
Okay.
And Jason didn't pay attention, and one of his toys had a sharp end and it slit his head open.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Can you show me where you shot him at?
I shot Dan right there.
In the temple?
Somewhere on the side of his head. I don't remember. It's not lower than his eye.
What is it?
I said I shot him somewhere right here. Yeah.
Where did you shoot your mom at?
Back of the head.
The back. Did she wake up whenever you shot Dan?
Mm-hmm.
What about Cage? Where did you shoot him at?
Back of the head.
What about Jameson?
Same way.
Were they all in bed when you did this, or?
No. Mom and Dan was in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Gage went into their room. I shot him in the back of the head. Jameson was in my room. Well, in mine and his.
Because you take care of Jameson all the time?
All the time.
When you shot Dan and your mother, did Gage wake up and come to that room because maybe...
No, he was awake.
Oh,
he heard the shots, but he didn't know what it was.
Okay. So you're in their room after you shoot Dan and your mother. Gage walks in.
Gage walks in, I shot him.
In the back of the head.
In the back of the head.
How did you manage to shoot him in the back of the head? Because, I mean, I'm assuming he walked in and seen you.
He didn't see me right in the room, because after that, Jameson needed his strength, and I gave him strength. Gage went to check out what that was. He went to the room, saw them, and I shot him.
Did you come up, like, behind him?
I came up behind him.
Okay.
But I didn't do it because my dad, I didn't kill myself because I promised way back I wouldn't. And she needed me. The rest out there, she's been going on in my life.
That happened. And they told us that Jameson's body is kind of, oddly placed. It seemed like, did you maybe move his body by chance?
No, I shot him. I didn't pay attention where he fell.
Did you maybe cover him up with anything?
No.
Because they're saying that there's some sort of like blanket over him. I wouldn't see how that would get there unless maybe you placed it on it.
I might have accidentally moved the blanket.
It's okay if you did. We were just curious how it got there. Do you think you did?
I probably accidentally moved it.
Okay. How would you actually?
It was on the edge of the bed, like half of the blanket, and if you touch it, it'll fall over.
Okay. So
I might have accidentally touched it and fell on top of him.
Okay. And they say, it seems like, the upper part of his body is kind of underneath the bed, or did he have a crib, or you guys sleep in the same bed, or how?
He has a crib,
Okay.
but he won't sleep in it. We slept together.
Okay.
So, do you know if maybe his head was up underneath?
Also, our detective that talked to Rebecca.
Yes.
Now, she told us about the bruising and the physical abuse, but she didn't mention anything about Dan trying to suck your dick.
And
Or trying to make you suck his dick. I'm sorry, I keep saying
I told that.
Well, she's not mentioning anything about that. And if that's, listen, if he was abusing you, I believe that part of it because you said that there were bruises and you sent pictures, but the sexual part of it, that's just not making a whole lot of sense, okay? And it's not jiving with what Rebecca's told us. So if you're making that part of it up, we can work with that. I just need to know that you're telling me the whole truth. I believe the stuff about the physical abuse.
I am telling you the whole truth because I told Rebecca what Dan tried to do, trying to make me suck his dick.
Well, give it to a family member, call a humane officer or something like that. But the dog will be taken care of. It just won't be left alone.
I mean, she's full-blooded Great Dane.
Right.
A big dog.
That's a big dog to take care of.
I mean, like, yeah, Dan bought her, but ever since he bought her, he's just been making me take care of her because I was the only person I'd be able to walk her.
Okay.
I mean, what's the point of getting a family dog if you're just going to make one person take care of her?
Right. All right, I'll go check on the dog for you.
All right.
Isn't it crazy how Gavin has more love for his family dog than his own family? During his interrogation, he crafted a web of lies to try to justify his horrific actions. But the truth eventually came out. Gavin was sentenced to 3 life terms for his gruesome crimes. The jury uncovered a dark web of deceit. Turns out that Gavin's girlfriend, Rebecca Walker, was not approved by either his mother or stepfather, but they secretly communicated through texts and video chats despite the restrictions. In December 2020, when Walker's grandmother left town, it provided a rare opportunity for Gavin and Rebecca to be together. However, Gavin's family was in no mood to let this union happen, especially after his repeated failed attempts to escape and his run-ins with the sheriff's office. Gavin had made disturbing comments about wanting to kill his family, and Walker, shockingly, agreed with his plans as a way to be together. On the day of the murders, Walker was on a video call with Gavin, who showed her a gun and a knife. He revealed his plan to kill his mom and stepdad, though Walker couldn't remember the exact details of how each victim was killed. She admitted that she encouraged him, telling him to hurry up and do it. Rebecca Lynn Walker, then 17, ultimately took a plea deal, pleading guilty to 4 counts of being an accessory after the fact to first-degree murder. This case was a nightmare beyond comprehension, but the horror escalates to a chilling new level when a mother herself commits the unthinkable, like the woman in the case up next. Number 1. Jhanea Pratt. Meet Jhanea Pratt, a mother who has just lost her 18-month-old daughter, Charlotte. On April 5th, 2018, Jhanea's call to emergency operators sent responders rushing to the scene. There they found Charlotte, cold and unresponsive, and despite their efforts, she was declared dead within an hour. For any parent, this would be a harrowing nightmare. But what unfolded next was beyond anyone's worst fears. The autopsy revealed a chilling truth. Turns out that Charlotte had been drugged and poisoned. According to the reports, her blood was laden with a dangerously high amount of fentanyl. One of the 2 sippy cups found at the scene was tainted with fentanyl and confirmed the suspicion that the child had been poisoned. It was no accident, and all the evidence pointed to a single person, Jhanea herself. The very mother who should have grieved her daughter's death but showed no remorse or emotion. She was then taken in for interrogation.
Looking at We barely fell asleep. By the time I was actually, like dozing off, Miss Vernon was knocking at the door.
Okay, and at that time you put her in her bedroom or left her on the couch?
At this time, I had picked her up because she was laying with me on the couch. I'm not sure if she was on top of me or beside me at that point.
Yeah.
I picked her up and I laid her on the couch, and I opened the door and I came to get her off the couch and I put her in her bed.
Okay. Did she eat or drink anything?
My boyfriend told me he made fish sticks and I want to say like French fries or something.
Okay. Now, that was earlier in the day when you guys got back. Did she eat or drink anything?
No, she didn't eat or drink anything. She had left her. He said she didn't want her sippy cup before they walked out the door to come and get me. So he left the sippy cup there.
Which sippy cup was that?
To my knowledge, it should have been the pink one.
The pink sippy cup?
Mm-hmm.
And where was that located?
I'm not even sure. I wasn't there.
Did he have that or did she have it?
It was left.
It was left there.
She didn't want it on the way out the door.
Okay. When you say on the way out the door, you mean?
When they left to come and get me from school.
Okay, when you came back, that pink sippy cup, do you remember
I
what it was?
didn't even see the sippy cup.
Did you give her the sippy cup at all?
I didn't see the sippy cup.
Okay. Do you remember it being in her bedroom? That sippy cup?
I think I might have found the sippy cup on the way to, I'm not sure. I just remember, I believe, putting the sippy cup in her bed with her.
Okay. Did you put anything in the sippy cup?
No, there was a red liquid in it, and I know we had Huggies.
Yeah, I remember seeing some Huggies in there.
To be more specific, Happy Drink Huggies.
Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you, when you were living, I'm just going to show you the picture. Is this the same sippy cup you're thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have put liquid in there earlier in the day?
Yes.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was that the same sippy cup that you put the liquid in? Was it before you went to school, when you got home from school, or?
I put a different juice drink in there, and she had a complete fit, and she didn't drink it.
Okay.
So how the red liquid got in, he changed her sippy cup when he fed her.
Okay.
He said she drank a little bit and threw it.
So far, this mother showed no signs of sadness, no tears, and no trace of emotion. Her voice was cold and unfeeling, as if she was indifferent to the loss of her little girl.
Lived at that address. Did you get anything delivered in the mail from overseas?
I had just ordered her entire room from Walmart. I don't know if that came from overseas or not.
Well, Walmart won it. I'm saying, like, did you order anything that maybe that might not have things from a different country?
No, my mother purchased the baby gate that was in her room. I believe she purchased that from Walmart also.
There would be no reason like you would get any packages, say, from China or from Japan or anything like that.
Like directly from them?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. But to your knowledge,
I ordered everything from Walmart.
The purpose of these questions was to trace the source of the fentanyl, a potent drug that can be easily obtained from China. The investigation aimed to uncover how this dangerous substance ended up in the child's sippy cup.
To be clear, the stuff that was in that sippy cup, you did put in or you did not?
I did not.
Okay. Do you have any idea? Well, I'm just gonna be blunt to you. Your child died from fentanyl poisoning.
So why did CYF tell me hypoxic cardiac arrest?
There weren't lab results then. So I'm going to explain this to you, okay? In that sippy cup was fentanyl. In her blood was fentanyl. We just got these results back. It's the same type of fentanyl that people are overdosing every day in Pittsburgh and dying from. Same exact type. Okay. So I need to know how the fentanyl got in the sippy cup. Because right now it's not an accident. It's impossible for your daughter to put fentanyl in a sippy cup. Okay. Physically it's impossible for her to do. Scientifically, that's another story. But right now that's how she died. It wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't any other reason other than she overdosed on fentanyl, which is the same fentanyl that people in the streets are dying on every single day. How the fentanyl get in the sippy cup, Jhanea?
Just straight fentanyl?
Yeah.
So what is it, like a liquid,
I'm not a scientist. It comes in a liquid form, it comes in a powder form. I'm not exactly sure, but what I am sure of is that fentanyl was put in a sippy cup and there was liquid mixed into it and it was given to Charlotte and that's how she died. So I need to know how that got in there.
I have no knowledge to how fentanyl got in my daughter's sippy cup.
Jhanea's demeanor had been defensive from the get-go. It was clear she was mentally bracing herself to conceal the truth and protect her own interests. Her reaction suggested she was fully aware of her daughter's death and the circumstances surrounding it. However, she was adamant on hiding her involvement.
Well, I'm just as clueless as you are. So are you implicating that I put fentanyl in my child's sippy cup?
No, but based on this timeline, I mean, there's only 2 people that could have put fentanyl in the sippy cup. Based on what you just told me about 10 minutes ago. And based on the whole timeline of that day. I need to know how it got in there. Because this investigation is not going away.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I returned to my house from being picked up from school, and I did nothing out of the usual.
Okay.
We took our stuff off, and she ran around and played, and I'm waiting for my social worker to come.
Okay. Do you get fentanyl delivered from China?
I don't know anything about fentanyl.
Okay. Did you ever put anything in her sippy cup other than Huggy juice?
She's drank water, she's drank milk, she's drank Kool-Aid, liquids.
But have you ever put anything in there?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Other than...
I mean, because some parents will give their kids a little bit of, Benadryl or something like that, so they can...
No, that doesn't go in a sippy cup because it's supposed to be measured out, and Benadryl's not supposed to be drank. Tylenol's not supposed to be drank over a specific amount of hours. It's supposed to be 1 dose, and that's it.
Right, I agree with you. But parents...
I'm not one of those people
Okay.
or parents.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. But we have a problem right now. Is that safe to say that there's a problem? I mean, I have to figure out how this got in there because your baby can't tell me. Is there a reason someone would want to do that? Is there a reason why fentanyl would be in a sippy cup?
No, there's not. And no, there's not a reason anybody would want to.
The amount of fentanyl that was in her system was extremely high. Okay, it was very high, and that's essentially when she drank the sippy cup. Whenever she picked that sippy cup off the bed, it was absorbed very quickly, and once she swallowed it, she didn't have much time to survive.
That's not possible because I didn't physically see her with her sippy cup, and we were at home. I was with her. I can't tell you the exact time frame, but when I got home, because I went to the welfare office a little bit as soon as I left school. There's no possible way.
The sippy cup I showed you that picture of, that's the sippy cup that had it in it. I'm gonna step out for a little bit, let you think about this.
There's nothing to think about.
Okay, well, I need to step out anyway. All right. But that's why I brought you here, was to tell you exactly what happened and what we found. And I mean, it wasn't really me, but it was, you know, scientists and, you know, people at the lab that discovered all this, medical examiners, doctors.
Okay, so am I under arrest?
No.
Are there any more questions?
I just want to know how it got in there. That's the big question.
I don't know how it got in there. This is news to me like it's news to you.
If you had to guess how it got in there, is there any way, you know, any guess you could have?
A manufacturing issue with the Happy Drinks?
So you think it could have been the Huggy?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I took a sip of those Huggies and it didn't really have a pleasing taste to it.
We tested the Huggies. No fentanyl.
Unlike Jhanea, who displayed no sadness, the interrogating officer struggled to keep his emotions in check. It's understandable for someone to be overwhelmed by the gravity of such a case, but it's deeply unsettling to see a mother so coldly detached, more concerned with defending herself than mourning the loss of her own child.
I'm asking. I'm just asking straight up how it got in there.
And I'm telling you straight up, I have no clue how it got in.
No clue. Is this something your boyfriend would have done?
He has kids of his own. Why would he hurt my child?
Oh, well, did anyone else have access to the apartment?
Maintenance people, the people who run the place.
So other than the maintenance people and people that run the place, the only person that has access to it is you and Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Was anyone in your house that uses heroin?
I wouldn't know what people's personal drugs they use.
But to your knowledge?
No.
Did you have any people in your house that use heroin?
No.
Do you use heroin?
No.
Does your boyfriend use heroin? Well, it's my job to find out how this got in there, okay, at this point. And this isn't going to go away. This investigation is not going away until I find out. Okay?
When you find out, you let me know.
I definitely will.
Any further questions?
I really want to know why your baby had that large amount of fentanyl in her.
I would too.
I mean, it was enough to kill a very large animal.
There's no way my daughter could have got into any type of fentanyl.
Someone, just like a bartender, mixes up a drink, put it in that sippy cup. It's the only possible way it could have got in there.
Is there any more questions, officer, detective?
Do you agree with me?
I'm not agreeing because who would do that to a child?
That's a
There's no possible way
really
any
messed
of
up
that could've
person.
been.
Really messed up person would do that.
There's no possible way.
Well, the amount of fentanyl she had could have killed probably 2 horses. No.
Am I under arrest?
No.
Can I go?
Sure.
This callous woman had the nerve to act annoyed throughout the process, but her facade soon crumbled. On June 4th, 2019, Jhanea Pratt was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. As a result, she faces a maximum sentence of 10 years for the tragic death of her daughter. Do you think this punishment is enough? What are your thoughts about these cases? Share them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.